Hey, Jules, how are you today?
I'm good, John. How about yourself?
Doing great. I'm glad you could join me for some fun that we're going to have. Jules, I know you've been in the business now almost a year, I think. No, not quite a year, probably. And you've sponsored a few people and have done a great job of helping people to discover GIA. What I want to go over today is what I call the GIA success formula. And I think we've talked about this before, and you've actually used the success formula and you probably didn't even know it. And we're gonna share that as we go through our training today. And this success formula leads to good health, happiness, and prosperity. And in reality, every business has this success formula. It's pretty much the same for every business. In fact, let me show you this next slide. So this is what you might call the success formula. Every business has an information process or a pipeline that people go through to learn about a product or a service that is offered by a company. And it's no different with GIA. And so here's what happens. So you might have a friend or a family member, or maybe even a lead, someone you've met who you want to introduce to GIA. And what you do is you contact them, right? You contact them, and then you talk to them and then set an appointment. And the appointment is set for them to watch a presentation or go to a meeting or to experience the products in a product demo. And then once that's done, you do the follow-up. So what we're going to do today is talk about an information process for GIA, but the truth is every business does this. And I think if you think of some of the things that you've purchased in the recent past, you have gone through this process where somehow they attracted you and then they set an appointment or they allowed you to see a video, even on Amazon, it happens there too. And then you watch the presentation and many times someone will follow up with you either by an email or some way to see if you want to buy the product. And then the end result is you either become a customer or join the team. So let's take a look at how this works. This is the way I've always seen how this process works. And here's what this, you can't really tell what this is, but I'm sure you can remember when you were a kid and I was young, we used to have these puzzles and they were big pieces, right? They were big puzzle pieces. So a young child could put them together and make a puzzle. And so imagine taking that puzzle piece. For me, I used to have a couple that were in a box, right? A wooden box, a thin wooden box. And that's how they fit in there. And imagine turning that puzzle upside down on the table. This is what you would see. You would see the back of the puzzle and there's no picture here, right? And so the idea would be to take a puzzle piece, to pick it up and put it in the front, turn it over. And when you do that, you begin to see the puzzle come to life, right? The more pieces that you put in the puzzle, the closer you get to being able to see the entire picture. This is exactly what we do with people when we're helping them to discover how GIA can impact their life. We help them, working with them, to put the puzzle pieces together so that they can see the picture of GIA, but not only GIA, so they can see the picture of GIA with them in the picture. Does that make sense? Yes. And that's what this process that we're going to talk about does for them. In fact, let me show you this next picture. When I first got involved with network marketing, of course, same process. My friend, actually, one of my employees at my company, he helped me through this same process. Now, I didn't know it was a process, but he was helping me to discover what network marketing was all about. And at the end of it, this is the picture that I saw. I saw me sitting on the ocean with the beautiful sky and the warmth and just loving the thought of being able to do that. So it helped me to join network marketing, to join that team. And I went on to create some success. And I actually lived on the beach for quite a while, actually, in Southern California, based on the picture that I created in the beginning. Had he not done that for me, who knows what would have happened? But this is it. This is what we want to do as GIA consultants, working with people to help them to put those puzzle pieces together. So let's take a look at how we've done that, how we do that. This is what I call the information process for GIA. And it starts out with you making a list. And I know you've done that. You made a list of people that you know. And then we invite them, you contact them and invite them to a presentation. Once they've seen a presentation, then you do a follow-up. And we always suggest that we do follow-ups on three-way phone calls. You invite them to be a part of the Lifestyle Facebook group. And of course, then you use GIA Freedom to help them to answer their questions. And GIA Freedom is an information site, as you know, that helps people. There's videos. And then at the end of this process, they either become a customer or a consultant, or maybe a referral source, or maybe they'll come back later and become a customer or consultant, right? the thing about this process is that as it looks here, the one thing that happens that I don't depict here is that you might be sending several videos out, right? So when you do the follow-up and they have a question, then you might send another video out. And so the follow-up becomes a big part of our process. You might be following up with someone maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And I know you've had that experience with the people that you've introduced to GIA. And I know some of them probably 10 or 12 or 20 times, right?
Right.
Yeah. That's how it goes. That's the magic of it, really, is the following up and touching them and helping them to put the puzzle pieces together. Sometimes it takes longer than we want it to, but it's all worth it helping them to do that. So we're going to go into a little bit more detail about this process. So the first thing is to invite everyone, and we tell you right off the bat to make a list of your warm network. And that means everybody that you know. And I know you made your list, and we don't want to judge. We don't want to say, oh, that person's probably not going to be interested, or maybe this person will. We just want to make this list as long as possible. And by making this list, really, this is your business list. The longer the list, the better. If someone makes a list of 4 people only, they're out of business pretty quickly, right? Because those are people that we are going to contact. There are prospects to help them, that we can help to see how GIA can help them. So once you make the list, then you prioritize the list, get together with your senior partner, and we pick the top 20. So who are the people who have respect for you? Who are the people that you really, really like, that you would love to join your team? And that's where we'll start. Now, I put leads down here because it's important that we continually add names to our network list, right? So as you're going through your warm list that you put together, if you just went right through them over a short period of time, then eventually you would run out of a warm list. So it's important for us to continue to add to that list. And we always talk about maybe adding 1 or 2 people every single day. And I know we talked on the phone today because you met someone playing pickleball that is being added to your list, right? Brand new. That's exactly how it works. So when we're out and about, we have our antenna up, talking to people, getting to know people. And when you really like someone or you feel good about them, you add them to your list and they become part of your warm network. Make sense?
Right.
And here's one thing I want you to know, that I know that when we get involved in a company like GIA, you think that all the people that you know are going to be part of your team. And the truth is, your team will be comprised mostly of people you don't know right now. It's like the person you met today, or I think you met this person today, and you didn't know her before, but she could join your team and become a superstar. And that's how it's going to work from now on. You will have a few people that are on your warm list join your team, but for the most part, your team will be comprised of a lot of people you don't know. And for me, I think that's super exciting, really exciting. Okay, so the next thing is the presentation. And there's various ways to help people see a presentation. So up on the top left, we have a product demonstration. And I know you've done a lot of Operation Hydration. You've gotten Operation Hydration out to quite a few people, and that's a product demo presentation. Along with that, we share an online video with people, and that's the Operation Hydration or the eye water video. So that's a presentation also. Those two kind of go together. Another presentation might be a conference call. We have conference calls at least once a week. And then every month we have a kick off the month call. And every once in a while, we'll have a special conference call that people can tune into. So that's a presentation. Down on the bottom left, we have our Zoom meetings. We have at least 1 Zoom meeting, maybe 2 Zoom meetings a week that people can tune into. That's a presentation also. And then on the far right, that's me doing an in-home meeting in Palm Desert. And what happens there is our consultants will go out and invite people to come to the meeting. We share the products, we do product demos, we watch a video, have a lot of fun, and people get to really get to know the people of GIA, and they get to know all about the products and what the company's all about. Probably the best way to introduce GIA to people is to gather together. We call them wellness gatherings now, and it's such a blast. It's so much fun. And then people will actually join the team that night, and the next week they'll come back and bring someone else, and that's how it grows. So as we go forward, we're going to see a lot more team meetings or wellness gatherings. But this is how the presentation goes. And in essence, really, a training could be a presentation also, like we're doing today. So next, they've gone through you've invited them, they've gone through the presentation, whatever presentation you've given them, and now it's time to follow up. And the key here is follow-up is everything. Nothing works unless you follow up. People usually are not going to call you and say, hey, I'm so excited, I can't wait to join your team. You're going to have to follow up to make sure that they've seen the information, make sure that if you've given them Operation Hydration as a product demo, make sure they're using the product correctly and answer all their questions. Follow-up is everything. And there's a question that we like to ask people when we follow up, and you can even write this down and just put it in your brain, put it on your phone, because it just changes everything. And the question is, what did you like best about what you've seen so far? Or what did you like best about the presentation? It's magic, because people start to think about what they liked about it. And once they tell you what they liked about it, then that takes the conversation in a really positive direction. Like if someone says, man, I really like the idea of being hydrated, that can take you right into a conversation about hydration, your story, and what it's done for you or what it's done for other people. A real key question that we want to ask people, and it just works so well to help us connect with them and to get all the great information out. So following up with your senior partner is highly recommended. We call this the three-way phone call. It's like the best way to help you grow your team. And I can remember when I first started in this industry, of course, my senior partner, my upline, who sponsored me, and all the people above him told me about how to do a three-way phone call. And for some reason, I was just absolutely reluctant to do it. I mean, it took me months to make the first one because I didn't want to bother the person that I was working with. So one day I finally made a decision to do a three-way phone call. I called my sponsor, and together we called the person who was going through the process, and we had the most amazing conversation. Well, let me just put it this way. Those two had the most amazing conversation because all I had to do was introduce them and sit back. And I can just remember looking out my window and going, what is taking me so long to do this? And then I started doing three-way calls all the time, and my business started to grow, and it just went wild because of three-way phone calls. So it just works. It just works. So follow-up is key. And I said in the beginning, I said it may take more than one follow-up, and it really does. In fact, they say that it takes between 6 and 12 contacts with a person before they make a decision to purchase something or to join a team. 6 to 12 on the average. Now that means there are some that do it sooner, but there are some, as you know, will do it later with more contacts. The key is just following up. That's our job, is to follow up, make sure things are working well with them, make sure they're doing what they said they would do, and help them to put the puzzle pieces together. That's it. Because once the puzzle pieces are together and they see them in there, they're going to become customers, or they're going to join our team. Follow up is really key. Now, part of the process is the GIA Breakthrough Lifestyle Facebook group. So we have a private Facebook group, which you know, and in this group, we invite people who are looking at GIA. We invite customers to be a part of that so that they can get a feel for who we are. They can see the posts that we're doing. We're sharing product stories. We're sharing business stories. We're sharing lifestyle stories. And so we want to invite our prospects or future customers to that page so that they can see and feel who GIA is. It's almost like a meeting that's not a meeting, right? Because we're posting information, we're posting stories, and then we invite them, and we invite the contacts to the page. We send an invitation to join during the follow-up call, and that's a really good time to do it. So when you're following up after they've seen a presentation, great idea to invite them while you're on the call even. And I know that we've talked about doing this. While you're talking to someone, you can just go to your computer and say, hey, I'm inviting you to be a part of the Breakthrough Lifestyle Facebook group. Check it out. And you can have them join right then and there. That's the easiest way. If that doesn't work out, you just have to send them an invitation and then follow up and make sure they got the invitation and they clicked on it so that they can join. So once they join the group, you want them to really experience what GIA is all about. So you can tag them in the welcome post, and tagging them just lets them know that you want them to see something, or you can tag them in appropriate posts of interest. So for example, if I have someone who's interested in eye water and I invite them to join the GIA Lifestyle Facebook group, I'll find an eye water post or a story and tag them in that. So they're notified they've been tagged in a post from the group. That's it. And so the other thing that's important for you is to participate in the group, right? Because as you join people to this group, you want them to see you participating. So I post things on there all the time. I know you comment and you post sometimes. We just want someone to come to our group and say, wow, there's something going on here. We want them to feel the energy and excitement, how excited we are to be able to do what we do. That's it. Any questions about that? No, I think you've added a few people to at least one. I think there's actually two groups. We have a team group, but I think this is probably the most important one right now, and it's a big part of the process.
Great.
Okay, so now this is really a resource for us, but it is part of the process, because when you do the follow-up and you're talking to someone and you're getting you ask them what they like best, many times they come up with questions, right? And since you're new, you're probably not going to be able to answer all the questions, and you might be on the phone with me and I'll be able to answer some questions, but there will be times when you're following up and I won't be on with you. So GIA Freedom is a website that's really cool because it has a ton of videos on it, product videos, videos about the business, just about any question that we get. We can go to GIA Freedom and find a video that helps answer the question. It's a great resource. So I always ask people when they first get involved with GIA is to go to GIA Freedom and check it out. Go through some of the videos, check out the different pages that we have. We have an iWater page, we have a peak performance page, we have a wellness home page. It's really good. And it's really, for new people, I think it's a good resource for training, because we have videos about each product. And I think a lot of people are using this as a really good tool. It answers questions and it validates the products and the business. And I know you like GIA Freedom, don't you?
I do. I use it a lot. I do.
Good. And then, of course, when we send a video to someone, what's the next step?
Follow up.
There you go. It's working. Good job. All right. So I just want to go back here and just visit this one more time. So this is it. To me, this is the whole GIA business. It's so simple. And I'll just ask you this question. So we're looking at inviting people. We're talking about presentations, doing a follow-up call, adding someone to the GIA Lifestyle Facebook group, using GIA Freedom as a tool, a resource for us, so that we can help people to put the puzzle pieces together so they can become a customer or consultant. Do you see anything that's hard on this page?
No.
No.
I don't do the three-way calls though, so maybe that's something I need to start with you, because you're my.
Yeah. Well, we have done a lot of three-way calls in person, where we have met with someone and then I've been there too. That's kind of a three-way introduction also. But yeah, we're going to do a lot of three-way calls as we start to talk more and more about the GIA business, the home business with people. But I think if you ask anybody about how hard this is, it's not hard. It's so simple to do. And honestly, this picture we have here, it was a little bit different when I started in the network marketing industry. I was struggling. It was hard for me to figure out how to do it, because I always felt that everything was on me, that I had to know everything and I had to be the one to help people to make the decision. But when I saw this, I was free, because all I had to do was point people in the right direction to get the information using this process. That's it. It's that simple. This is one thing I wanted to talk about, and because we're going to sponsor a lot of new people. I know I think you have about 5 people in your group right now, and it's all about, after they come on board with us, it's about teaching them. We inspire them, motivate, and empower them. And I know that I think it says time on the edge there. And when I think about time, I think about freedom. That's it. GIA is all about creating freedom in your life. And this is what we do with people. We help them to learn this simple process. We teach them the nuances of each of the steps so that they become an expert, so that they can create time freedom in their life. Really, that's what it's all about. So here's a question for you. What if it really was this easy and you knew you couldn't fail? You knew it was impossible to fail, and it was as easy as this, helping people put the puzzle pieces together. What do you think you might accomplish?
Everything I wanted to.
That's it, everything. And I know some of the dreams that you have for the future. I'm hoping that you can see it's really possible because of this simple process. And I know that as you've sponsored people, India, you use this process. You just didn't know it. You were doing all the things that we just talked about, but we just didn't put it in a picture so that you could see it.
Right.
Does it make it easier to understand how it works?
Yes, that does.
Good.
Much easier. Well, I would just ask you, but now it's on paper, so
Yep.
I can just do it myself.
Definitely. All right, well, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this. I recorded it, so I'll send you the recording because I know you're going to have some people in your group that will want to see this. We'll also post it in case somebody else can use this also. All right.
Good. Sounds good, John.